Hey all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So friends, this is video 14 of Python series, and in this video we are going to discuss about iterables versus iterators, which is an advanced Python series. We have entered into the advanced section. So if you want to personally connect to me in LinkedIn, you can click on this and you will be redirected to my LinkedIn page, where if you have doubts related to Python or any tech, you can message me. I will definitely try to solve it. And if you have any issues related to coding while coding, or if you need any suggestions, you can message me on LinkedIn or you can follow me on LinkedIn for more updates. Let's not waste our time. Let's dive into the topic of today's video, that is iterables versus iterators. Let me first tell you the definition of iterables. Iterable is one of the basic and important concept in Python. So where it can store multiple values and has capable of returning them one by one. So this is the basic advantage of iterables. Again, you don't need to worry. The previous video I have not written the article because it was very small concept. In this video, this is little advanced. I'll definitely write giving you the article link in the below, where you will be getting the definition of iterables and iterators and also the example codes with the differences. You can basically follow that. Okay, I guess you might have not understood the definition properly. Let me tell you about iterables right now. So in iterable, when you initialize all the values get saved in the memory location. Just understand this. Iterable can accept list, tuples, and even sets. Now we'll try out with list for now. I'll be giving you an example of list now. Example of iterables. Lst is equals to let me give a random. Yeah, let us give alphabetical only. Sorry, numerical only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll give till 6 and I'll execute this. Now let us go with for I in lst print I. So what happens here? You can see here it is just returning the particular list whichever we have typed. It is just going and it is just getting iterated and it is just entering the giving the output of that particular values like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's like it is just almost like using for loop. This is the basic use of iterables, nothing more in iterables to tell you all. But one main advantage of iterables is it will get saved. The particular code whichever we are typing and the values whichever will be giving, everything will be saved in the memory location. And you can even perform some operations like min, all, max, and even sort. These type of operations can be performed in iterables. This is just a basic usage of iterables. Now let us go to iterators, the main important topic where you all might get confused. So iterators, let me just tell you all the definition first. Iterator is, let me check it 1 second. Don't worry, the definitions will be available in the Python article which I'll be given below. The article related to iterable versus iterators. Okay, a iterator is an object that can be iterated upon, meaning that you can traverse through all the values. So what happens in iterator is it will not get saved. Every values will not get saved and it will not even consume your memory and it is just going to save as an object. So in iterables, what happens is it will get saved, everything will get saved, whatever you're gonna write, and the memory consumption will be there. But in iterators, no memory consumption. Just keep that in your mind, and it will use underscore iter function and also an next function. So iterator normally uses the iter function. I'll just give you a basic view of iterator. All values are not initialized. They are initialized after calling using the inbuilt function called next. Just keep it until there. I mean, just understand until there. We'll use the same example LST only for this also. Just copy so that you will not get confused. So I'll take LST1 and I'll execute this. Now what happens is I'll take any other L. I'll take any other value variable. L is equals to, if you want to save something in iterator, you have to use the inbuilt function called iter, and then you have to save it using lst1. Now it gets saved. Now if I check for L, you can see here it is just saving as an object. So here in this memory location it is saved. Now if we try to check for the particular LA list, it is giving you just an object. But how you are gonna check this? Whereas here if you just check it out, you are getting the entire output at a time. For this you have to, if you want to check the value, you have to use a inbuilt function called next only for iter. If you are using iterator, you have to definitely use the next function. Iter, I'll give next and I'll give 1. Now if I run this, see it is giving you 1. So we can check it. Then 2, then 3. It is slowly only gonna give the next functions. 4, I have given until 6, right? 5, 6. See, once the particular values are done, it is saying that stop iteration. Because this is an error, exception, where in next function we cannot run this particular exception. It is giving you all the stop iteration once every values are completed. So now if you want to again run it, you have to again use this particular code and then again you have to run from first. If you give next, only you can see the values. The basic. Okay, now if you want to run multiple, how you are gonna run it? We use to retrieve the values. The main use of next function is just only to retrieve the values so that we can keep an eye that which value should be entered into the memory and which value should not be entered into the memory. By this we can save our memory of the particular RAM, whereas in iterables we cannot retrieve it. Everything will get directly saved and we cannot keep an eye whether only the values which have been entered are entering or else some other unwanted values are getting entered. It is even consuming the memory. Now if you want to see all the values at a time, what you are going to do for that? For that also we can use same again for loop for I in L print I. So you can see here already I have given next and I have already called the 1. So it is not calling 1 again because it is at this particular point. From here it is calling the next for loop. Have you observed one thing? In next function, once it's completed till 6, it is giving you the stop iteration. But whereas in for loop, once it is completed till 6, it is not giving the stop iteration because in for loop, once it get traversed to the last iteration, it will automatically comes out of the loop because there is an exception handling which is already written in the for loop. But whereas for next it is not written. Don't worry about the exception handling. About exception handling we'll discuss about in the upcoming videos. Exception handling is more advanced. Only understand till this. In iterables, the memory consumption will be there and you can see all the values. You can traverse through all the values. But whereas in iterators, if you run also, the memory consumption will not be there, only it will be saving as an object. If you want to continue, you have to use a next function or else you have to use for loop. And once in next function, if you complete everything, you will be getting an error called stop iteration. It means all the values are completed. So friends, these are the basic differences between iterator versus iterables. I hope you all understood about iterables versus iterators. So do try about in iterables, do try out giving some functions like .min, .max. Try out with that example, you will definitely understand. So friends, that's all for this video. Do like, share and subscribe the channel, and even the article of iterables versus iterator link will be in the description. Thank you all.